4 times title holder.
Speed, spectacle.
Shake and bake.
All words we associate with NASCAR. But the one word on everyone's minds right now is safety. Stock car racing is dangerous, historically filled with tragedy and risk. But recent years have seen the numbers of serious accidents decline, with the car of tomorrow being the first specification in NASCAR history to have not suffered a fatality. The COT definitely had its issues on the track.
I'm still not a very big fan of these things. I can't stand to drive them, they suck.
But no one could doubt its safety credentials, especially after Michael McDowell's horror crash at Texas Motor Speedway in 2008, where he emerged unharmed after rolling 8 times and crashing into the barrier at a speed 30 miles an hour more than Dale Earnhardt's infamous crash in 2001. So where did it all go wrong? This year at Pocono, Kurt Busch suffered an accident in qualifying, going into the wall and crunching the right rear of his 45. He subsequently missed the last 5 races of the regular season and didn't make the playoffs for the first time since 2012. Many drivers were quick to raise concerns about safety in the next-gen car, with Joey Logano saying he's never hit harder, and Bubba Wallace calling his contact with the barriers at Atlanta amongst the hardest he's felt. But NASCAR's Managing Director of Safety Engineering has claimed that this year's crash data is not different to previous years, despite the driver outcry. At the moment, I don't have a great engineering explanation as to why the perception is not matching with the data that we're seeing. So where are all these problems coming from? Corey LaJoie thinks he has the answer. NASCAR built the center section to accompany outlier accidents. The 3% of hits probably less than that. They made the car stiffer for the 97 or 98% of the other crashes, and the data supports this. The easiest way to measure a crash is to look at the delta V figure of the crash, which, put simply, is the change in velocity of the car before, during, and after the crash. So if a car is going 150 miles an hour before a crash, hits the wall, and then exits the corner at 100 miles an hour, the delta V would be 50 miles an hour. This year, a lot of the crashes have come at unusual angles, such as hitting the wall rear first, which meant the relative speed and force of the car's impact transfers differently to the drivers' bodies. In the case of Kurt's accident at Pocono, while the impact from outside didn't seem as severe or dramatic as other crashes we've seen historically, the first impact pitched the car around, causing a second impact with the barriers, which worsened the force on the driver, and notably contributed to his concussion, where symptoms have lasted for over 2 months since the initial incident. Fellow driver Denny Hamlin has been notably outspoken about the issues, going on video to rant about the delayed responses to his concerns about the next-gen car.
When it comes to the crash stuff, I've asked questions to 2 different NASCAR people, executives. I can't get a response. So that to me, it makes it even scarier. So it's like, it's just, man, the disconnect right now between all the parties, NASCAR, the tracks, and the drivers, it's tough right now. It's not in a good place.
It's obvious that something needs to change, but where can NASCAR go from here? The solution may lie in different areas of motorsports. In open wheel series such as IndyCar and Formula One, technical directives have evolved in recent years to place a much more improved emphasis on driver safety, even at the expense of aesthetics, with the aero screen and halo devices having saved lives within months of their introduction. Maybe NASCAR could follow this route, having historically restructured their car designs in pursuit of safety before. Perhaps another ground-up rebuild is necessary going into next season. When the next-gen car was revealed, there has already been months of speculation and complaints, most notably from Mark Martin's former crew chief, Steve Fumil, confirming that many crash test dummies had been killed in testing due to the car being too stiff and having too few crush zones. Rectifying this should probably be priority number 1. The next gen's wheel-related issues also need correction, with the traditional steel 15-inch wheel having been replaced with an 18-inch aluminum design featuring a single lug nut, which has repeatedly been blamed for various issues, with wheels coming off due to being unsecured, and the lack of tyre thickness, leading drivers not being able to return to pit road or move at all after blowing tyres on track. Maybe, in this case, NASCAR should go back to basics and stick to the standard wheel size. It's rumoured NASCAR is working on some yet-to-be-announced tweaks before the October 30th race, setting the field for the championship weekend in Phoenix. But I think we can all agree a major overhaul is needed to keep the sport alive amid continually dropping viewership figures. It's unlikely we'll see such sweeping changes without NASCAR first undertaking years of research, but the weekend's sweeping volume of technical issues at Bristol will only worsen the perception of the next-gen car and its
crappy-ass parts.